going on, YouTube? It's your girl Monique Nicole, and I'm back with another video. Before we get started, honey, if you are new to my channel, please make sure you are subscribed. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down below, right there, right there. And while you're at it, go ahead and click the like button, hit that thumbs up button, okay? It's an easy and free way to support my channel, okay? Okay. So this evening, I have a special crew with me here tonight to discuss some juicy, hot topics. I have my boy Lamont Tyson in the building
What's up?
and Brillo, the big review. What
What
up?
up, team?
And we are just waiting for Moochie, but she will be on in a few minutes. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh,
I'm good.
Feeling good. Getting over a little sickness. I thought I had that 19, but God blessed me with a negative, so
And won't he do it?
that's the common cold. It's funny, you can't even get a common cold no more without
Right.
that you got the 19, but
Uh-huh.
we fighting through it.
One
Hang tough,
sneeze, one cough, and you got the Rona.
Right.
brother. Right. They shoving Q-tips up both your noses, man. Like, wow. They want to make sure, but I'm glad you're getting through it, man. You don't want to be sick right now.
It work, man. All them germs.
Yeah, definitely.
This is facts. So you guys, it's been an interesting week in pop culture news and current events. A lot of things are going on. So I definitely had to come tonight and just discuss it. A lot of controversy is going on. So we're gonna get into it, you guys.
Do it.
This first topic is really going to be, we're going to have some good dialogue with this one. So first on the docket, Kanye West.
No.
So yeah, get ready, because that's the first one.
Some people, yeah, man.
Kanye West, as we all know, Kanye West had a fashion show on Monday in Paris, debuting his Yeezy Season 9 presentation. Well, part of his presentation, he had his models sporting a White Lives Matter t-shirt. He also was wearing one as well. And our favorite conservative, Candace Owens, was also wearing one as well. They even posed and took pictures together, just being so kumbaya. I think I have a photo. Here we go. Just posed up, cheesing, White Lives Matter, with not a care in the world. This, of course, caused lots of controversy. I mean, it put the internet in a frenzy. A lot of longtime fans like myself are disappointed in Kanye West because, at one point he was seemingly, championing Black empowerment. He was a strong advocate for, his people. And he made it clear in his lyrics, especially the early years of his career. He was definitely more so pro-Black, I feel like. I will say I've been a day one Kanye West fan since his first album. So seeing his antics over the last few years has been quite disappointing, but this one hit a little bit different for me. And actually, you know what? This is a two-parter, but before I get to the second part of Kanye's fiasco, what was y'all's initial thoughts when you guys saw him sporting that shirt at his fashion show? And I'll go with you, Lamont.
I wasn't at all surprised. It seems like ever since Kanye's mom died, and then he went and whitewashed himself with Kim Kardashian, all his blackness went out the window. And it seems like as he kept climbing the ladder of financial success, and his mom was gone, who I felt like kept him grounded, there was just a turn in Kanye. And I do believe he's suffering from some mental health issues too. And there was a void I feel like his mama was serving him that has never been fixed. And so now he does all this bull job to lash out for attention. And what he doesn't understand is some of the things he's doing even though he's seeking attention and he probably don't even believe what he's doing, it incoherently hurts the community because there's too many detractors out here that really and truly believe white lives matter. They don't understand Black Lives Matter. They feel like Black Lives Matters was a scam. And then anytime you go and put your ass up there with Candace Owens, who you know, goodness well, in her heart believes all this bull jive that there's no racism, that the plight of Black people ain't real. And I guarantee you, you take her ass and drop her off in New York, and all of a sudden she will believe in racism real quick when her ass is out there alone. So I wasn't surprised by it. I'm highly disappointed. I've never been a big Kanye fan anyway, because he's always on what we call in my house that D knowledge. And what is D knowledge? When these Black dudes be on this next level thinking that they think they've ascended to, that's really making them look dumb. He's been on that for a hot minute. So it didn't surprise me. It made me feel bad that now you've given these idiots that don't believe in the struggle and plight of African Americans more fuel to say, well, if Kanye said white lives matters, well, damn it, he's a Black person saying that white lives matters. We'll go with what he says. When a couple of years ago, they was talking shit about Kanye West, but now they'll rock with him. So I wasn't surprised. I was angry. You know, there's been too many of us have died because our lives didn't matter. So it just made me mad. Whether he did it for attention, whether he is really crazy, whether he's got psychological problems, some things you just don't do, and that should have been one of them.
Amen. What about you, Brillo? What were your initial thoughts, feelings, all that?
First, I wasn't like I said, I wasn't at all surprised. I feel like I understand Kanye, as crazy as that sound. I understand what he's trying to do by wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. By wearing the shirt, the first thing you think is, why not Black Lives Matter? Right? That's the first thing I thought. Like, why not wear that one? I mean, by saying White Lives Matter, of course, you know, when you say Black Lives Matter, you're not saying white lives doesn't matter. I think he's overthinking things right now and trying to get attention.
Yeah.
Definitely overthinking things, but I definitely think by wearing the White Lives Matter shirt, it was kind of a troll. We're talking about it. He's a lightning rod. He loves that attention. And if all that fails, like, he does these type of things periodically throughout the year, these thought-provoking, provocative things. Like Lamont saying, overthinking things. I think what he was trying to do was create that. What I'm hoping what he was trying to do was create that thought process to where, you know, it's really no difference type thing. White lives matter, Black lives matter. Because if it was Black lives matter on there, nobody would have really had anything to say. And then I think maybe, I'm hoping, he was trying to bring that full circle and say, like, it's no real difference. But I definitely agree with what Lamont said about our people who have struggled. And I wouldn't be caught dead in a White Lives Matter shirt, personally.
Right.
But that's just me. Kanye, like he said, he thinks he's the smartest person in the room. I don't think, you know, definitely I understand what he was trying to do is what I'm saying. And that's what I think he was trying to do, have us talking about it and be thought-provoking, like Lamont said, want to be on a higher level thinking, having all the answers, so to speak. He wanted us to think about Black Lives Matter and come to the conclusion like, okay, it's no difference. But, you know, we're talking about it. And I'm sure y'all not going to stop going about them Yeezys because it's a status symbol. So until we, you know, willing to make that sacrifice, you know, I don't care personally. But kids not about to go start buying them Yeezys. When they drop, they gonna sell out $300-400 a pop, $600-700, $300 for a slide. It is what it is.
I mean, you're right. Some people are still going to support him, still going to wear his fashions, his sneakers, all that. And to your point, knowing how he tries to think, he's probably going to say, "Oh, I did it to unify us because we're dividing us and Black versus white." And
that's what
I can see him.
I understand him.
I've seen him I've seen his rants before, so that's why I can see that being his dialogue. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I was saying.
All right, hold on, I'm live to you.
Oh, hey, Moochie.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
So we are talking about we're talking about Kanye West and his all white lives. What am I saying? White Lives Matter. Should have been All Lives Matter, basically what he's trying to say. But White Lives Matter T-shirt.
He's desperate for attention.
Right.
Yeah. What were your
desperate for attention?
What were your initial thoughts when you first?
He's a butthead. That's what I thought. I thought like he. You know what it is? People look. Once he said the thing with slavery was a choice. I'm not supporting you, and you making clothes that look like they was made out of burlap, like a potato sack. Look, oh no, I'm done, son.
Yeah.
Monique, do you want to know when I first found out what the new Yeezys look like? I used to work in the hospital, right? And when I was in the hospital, people used to wear Crocs. So I was in Detroit, and I seen this kid working at some pizza joint, and he had on shoes that looked like some Crocs that had been shaped into the shape of a whale. So I was like, "Yo, where you get them Crocs from like that?" He was like, "These ain't no Crocs, these Yeezys." I was like, "The fuck, you." Those things are Yeezys, and you spent how much, Monique? I was disgusted. I walked out there, didn't even buy my food from that place. I was disgusted. Them shoes look like somebody took a whale's body, shaved it into the form of a Croc, and this fool spent $400 for them. No, absolutely not.
Oh my goodness.
Look, I was all for Kanye when he said George. How you go from George Bush don't care about black people to slavery was a choice to now white lives matter? Like,
Moochie, want me to tell you
what
how?
happened?
Well, financial status. Financial status. Financial status, Moochie. When he said that about George Bush, he was only worth a couple of million. Since then till now, he's done been whitewashed by Kim Kardashian. Then his buddy Trump was in the White House, and now he's a multi-billionaire. And
once he put that Trump hat on, I was too through with him. But the slavery was a choice, and then when Van Lathan got at him, I like the way he broke it down to him.
I put a pause on him at that point. The only reason, I'm not saying I was right, but the only reason why I kind of forgave that was because that same year he really had like a psychotic break, and I watched it like it was like recording, like when he started talking about how they almost aborted his child. He was having a psychotic break.
What, when he was like, I almost lost my daughter?
Right.
When he was
that. He was having a psychotic break, and just his bipolar disorder, all that stuff. And because I worked in mental health and I have my own issue, like I somehow forgave it, right?
I feel like he hasn't been right since his mother died.
That's what everybody said.
He hasn't. Because his mother probably was one like how I am. What the heck is wrong with you? Take that down.
Moochie, if his mother was still alive, I promise you guys, half of the antics he would not have done.
Hell no.
Done. His mom is probably rolling over in her grave with what the hell he's pulled. You know what I'm saying? So, but don't get me wrong, Kanye has always been Kanye. His way of thinking has always been a little bit on a different level. It's always been.
Did y'all see that documentary that they had on Netflix?
It was an excellent documentary. I mean,
he stopped recording that sometimes when you see that he getting out of hand. When he don't want people to see him like that.
You mean the later so the documentary covered before he became famous, you know what I mean, when he was like just a producer, then when he became a mega producer,
and then when he got with the Kardashians.
So I will say it was nostalgic because of the time that they covered, the early 2000s. That's like my favorite, the 90s, and that's my favorite era. But seeing that was like, you're seeing a humble Kanye. You're seeing really the beginning of him. So it was quite nostalgic. Later in the documentary, they did start to show more recent years, his mental health stuff, his outbursts, all that stuff. But anyway, not only did he have the T-shirt "White Lives Matter," the next day, after receiving criticism and backlash, he took to his Instagram and wrote, "Everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome.
You know what? He doubled down on it too. That's basically what you're saying he did. But he had to bend the knee to that white woman because the way he talked crazy to the other chick at the fashion show, he had to bend the knee. He know where his bread is buttered because he wants so much he wants to be accepted by them so much that he's willing to denounce his own race. That's the crazy part.
I don't know about that.
Just go ahead and bleach your skin and everything. That's how I feel. Once you did all of that, you know how Dave Chappelle had that race, like he's doing a trade? Yeah, trade. Get out of here.
I feel like that's fair, but I feel like Kanye has a lot going on in his brain. He don't really know how to convey his thoughts. I feel like I understand him, even with the thing about slavery being a choice. Of course, we know we know slavery, but what he's saying is they're trying to box us in. Everything is a choice. They could have chose to stand there and die. There
were uprisings, so you can't say that. Look at that. The whole thing with Nat Turner. It was uprisings, but they keep it hidden. I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is we're never gonna fully understand, or I don't take Kanye too seriously. I feel like I understand what he's trying to say with the slavery thing. I think he was trying to say in general when they try to make us feel like we don't have a choice. We got to do this. We got to sell this. We got to do this. Can't wait on that. You know what I mean? The only way you can get to it's more ways to get somewhere from point A to point B. I don't ever take him too seriously when he say stuff. It don't anger me because he doesn't know how to convey his thoughts in a way that's acceptable to people. But here's the thing about him. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He don't care. He can't convey his thoughts in a way that's acceptable to the masses that we're going to accept it. He don't give a damn though. That's all I'm saying.
And I have to say, because I don't listen. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. When it comes to Kim Kardashian, I don't blame her because Kanye was how he was before he met her. When he met her, he was the one actually putting her in rooms with Vogue and top design. Like she wasn't meeting with those people. So he definitely elevated her career, in which she has given him the public credit. So you can't knock her for, she acknowledges what he did for her. Right. But I just feel like blaming her is like taking the responsibility away from him. Like he drove her damn crazy. I mean, I've seen clips of the show where they would get into arguments about the stupidest shit. And it's just like, wow, like Kim Kardashian had to deal with him for all those years. It's just like, it's a lot. And someone in the chat was saying, how about Kanye's father and his aunt? He has family. His father is still alive and he has uncles, aunts, cousins, and they be trying. It's
never met nobody like that. Just like we know he not.
But that's like, this is why Kanye, like his personality, the fact that he already has his personality, like naturally, plus he's bipolar, mentally, he is effed. Like he's effed up mentally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like, I don't know how to explain it. With his personality, just how he's always been, that's him. But when you take that and you add a bipolar disorder, and then someone who is never consistent, right? So he goes through different phases where he wants to take his medication or he wants to be admitted or he doesn't want to be admitted when you have that type of thing too, not someone getting consistent treatment, it's all a recipe. It's all a recipe for disaster. So his family, I know his family is stressed out. Like I said, his father is still alive. Trust me, it is hard having a loved one or someone close to you that has a mental health disorder. It is very hard on those that are close to them. It's really hard. And I'm not trying to blame all of that on that, but trust me, it definitely is a contributing factor for sure.
Look, I agree with some people in the chat. Those girls are poisonous. They are every black man they mess with, they leave them messed up.
They didn't do that to him though. That's how
every black person that they mess with, every black man that they mess with, they come out of there messed up. From Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush wasn't messed up.
He look, his career wasn't the same after that. His football career. Am I right or wrong,
I just
Lamont?
think it's easy to blame the woman, and because people already hate them, no certain people are never going to give them a bone because you hate them so much that you're
No,
not.
I actually liked them at one time, and then
Yeah.
I'm just watching all the stuff that happens, and you know how you see things, and you be like, well, if this keeps happening, and there's a common factor in it.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, someone like Kanye, you cannot blame the Kardashians for Kanye. Like, Kanye is Kanye. Like, he's been Kanye. If anything, over the years, it got worse. But you can't blame Kim Kardashian for Kanye West's antics. Are you kidding me? When he was running for president, when he was hugging Trump, I know behind closed doors, she was like, "Oh my fucking gosh!" Like, well, she had to deal with all that, and that's the father of her children. Like, she didn't abandon him. She rode for that man. You cannot say she did not ride for him. So I just feel like on this, when it comes to Kanye, you cannot blame them because Kanye is Kanye, and he's always going to be Kanye, and that's how that man is. He's doing it to them now. The same thing he does to other people, he's now switching it and doing it to them. And it's just
no. I still think they get some of the credit for part of his downfall. In the same way we saying if his mama was alive, she would get credit for keeping him straight. They get some of the credit for his downfall as well because they was there in the middle of the act. I agree with you that the nuts and bolts of who he was already there. And maybe had Kim had said, you know what, after the first time he messed up, we getting divorced. You never know how that might could have changed his behavior or whatever. And I don't blame women, as Monique said, I don't blame the woman for every ill that goes on in a relationship. But when it is two, there is going to be some equal blame, and some blame might balance to one side or the other one more, which we for sure Kanye get most of the blame. But you can't say that Kim Kardashian was a big help in that situation either. I don't think so.
He tried to help him. When they tried to admit him, he turned on them and took to Twitter and started bashing Kim Kardashian and her mother because they're trying to help him. So it's like we don't know all what happened behind closed doors.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. We don't know everything that went on behind closed doors for both of them. For both of them. What she said, what he said, maybe how she incited something, maybe what he incited. We don't know what was said on both, but we do know they was a union. And during that union, we seen some of his behaviors escalate. So Kim Kardashian gets some of the blame during her time of dealing with Kanye. I'm not saying she get all of it, and I'm not saying she caused it, but some of his behaviors was on her watch. And you see, she finally decided, oh, I can't take this no more. And she divorced that ass. She was, I'm done with this. And I felt like she would have done that earlier. You might would have seen a deviation in Kanye because he seemed like he do like his kids. He do. Now he do all this crazy stuff, but he do seem like he like his kids most of the time.
He like his kids. He moved across the street from them. What a house across the street from them.
I don't think that was about the kids though.
What is about Skeet?
I think that was more about keeping an eye on what's going on with the household.
With Skeet.
Right.
Yeah.
This is upsetting, and the rhetoric that he's putting out there is very dangerous. Like, I've already seen certain people that I know liking his posts, and I didn't block certain people, but I definitely muted certain people. I'm just like, I can't really. It's upsetting because he's now feeding into that narrative, right?
Thank you.
I'm pissed. I am pissed off with the Black Lives Matter organization. People have to separate it. You know what I'm saying? The phrase and the concept behind Black Lives Matter was not a scam. The Black Lives Matter organization, yes, ended up to be fraudulent. But it was an organization. Look at all these corporations that are corrupt. You know what I'm saying? So I just, white people now are gonna run with it, and I freaking hate it.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem, Monique, because you do have people, believe it or not, there are people who are kind of on the fence about the issues dealing with blacks versus what they hear in the media from Fox News and people that swear it ain't no issues with black people. You have people who are on the fence because maybe a life situation has happened to them. maybe they grew up in a certain neighborhood and they're kind of like, you know what, I kind of understand what they're going through. Maybe I need to take a closer look. Then you get somebody like Kanye West do something like this, and they're just like, nope, no. So, that's the part that's bothersome because his influence has a reach over some people who might be trying to figure out where things lie. And Monique said it best. Black Lives Matters was not a scam. The nonprofit itself was put in place to support, help, and further the communication about the issues dealing with blacks in our community. The problem is the people running the helm got greedy. And from someone who has ran a nonprofit, someone who's done a daycare, you see this often too many times with our young black folks where they get at the helm of these nonprofits and then they start paying themselves too much. They start buying things in the name of the nonprofit, and all that money you got to come into it, eventually them chickens come home to roost. And I felt like that's what happened. But don't let that take away from what the organization stands for. You can always get new leadership that's going to do things the right way. What the organization stands for is still tried and true. And don't be twisted by white folks trying to tell y'all, see, I told you it was a scam, because they're the same ones that won't sit here and tell you the truth about ex-President Trump, and his whole life has been a scam, all 77 years.
Boom. That part. Well, you guys, that was a great conversation. We're going to move on to our next topic, something not as tense and upsetting, but was very shocking. So Tia Mowry filed for divorce from her husband, Corey Hardrick, of 14 years. Let's see. The sister star took to her Instagram on Tuesday to announce that she and her husband are going their separate ways after 14 years of marriage. They share 2 children together, 11-year-old Cree and 4-year-old Cairo. Let's see. She cited what is this?
Irreconcilable.
Thank you. Differences as the reason for the divorce, and is seeking joint custody and the inability to request spousal support by either party. So no spousal support for either one of them. That's if the judge grants that. That's what she wants. She took to her.
Well, they actually had a prenup, so she should be all right.
Yeah, they had a prenup, and I think in the prenup, I mean, look, she got money, so she's been in the business since she was a kid, so she got probably, no shade, she probably has more in the bank than him. She
was the breadwinner. He was home taking care of the kids in the beginning. And
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but in the state of North Carolina, prenups have a run out, which you have to go get them renewed. So you better hope she got her prenup renewed.
Ooh.
And see, every state is different, and a lot of people don't know that. But see, some of my business mentors that reared me, Anglo-Saxon men, was getting divorces like they was popping Tic Tac, and they told me that in North Carolina for sure. I think North Carolina's on an 8-year prenup term where you have to go back and re-dignify or whatever the term was to keep that same status going.
Wow. Now,
he
was married for 14 years. So.
Long time. Let me add this little tidbit. So earlier today, actually, Corey replied to a fan's comment on social media, basically alleging that he cheated on his wife. The actor replied and said, lies. So he's denying that he cheated on her, which,
Yeah, I was hearing they was messing with somebody on the set.
Yeah, that's the first thing people think about cheating, but trust me, a lot of things can go wrong in a marriage, and I think
they outgrew each other.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
14 years, they basically got married when they were kids.
14 years, but have been together for 20 years.
Yes, so they were together since they were kids.
Yeah,
and sometimes you outgrow your partner.
Yeah,
sometimes it's not really that deep. It's hurtful. Because, sometimes that's all the life with that person. So you trying to figure out what's it going to be like without that person and things of that nature. But I believe they outgrew each other. I don't think, I think they might be able to reconcile. But then again, I feel like once couples go on reality shows, that's the beginning of the end of their relationship, because they letting the world into something that, to me, that should be their personal space. I don't
It do
think.
seem like that.
I
It
don't
do
think.
seem like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think that's like a doom, because then you have so many. Everybody has opinions, or
You
it's
got to be
people
a
trying to
strong.
holler at him.
You got to be a strong couple to be able to deal with what succombs from all that fame and fortune. Because Chris Rock said it best: most
Mm.
men is only faithful based on their options. I mean, because it's the mindset of having sex for men is a little different for most men than what it is for women. We don't need to have our emotions stroked all the time to get with a woman. We just need to see a fat butt, small waist, big breast, and your face can be ugly as hell, ass down, face up. I mean, face down, ass up, and we'll do something. Usually with a woman, you got to warm, you got to put emotion into them. They're not going to cheat on their spouse unless there's been fraying in their relationship and emotional needs, and sometimes physical needs, but usually emotional needs hasn't been met. And they also say that you're having problems in your relationship three to 4 years before you get divorced, and now they just now getting divorced, and we have no idea what was going on between them. And I think that these twins, they were America's sweetheart, and they have grown up and not tried to get older than what their age group were. We've seen them as young kids, they behave like young kids. We've seen them as teens, we've seen them as 20s, and now we're seeing them as grown women. And they're as squeaky clean black sisters as you're gonna find on the planet Earth, as squeaky clean. And it always, to me, kind of seemed like these two wasn't equally yoked, even though they stayed together this long. And I don't know him like that, but it just kind of seems like he really wasn't her speed, but they made it work. But at the end of the day, we don't know what caused this to split. And I'm just happy that they're not going at each other for spousal support, which is a good thing. That actually means that this could be very amicable, and that, like Moochie said, they've grown apart. Maybe things that they just couldn't get the other one to do in terms of what they needed for a relationship is just not the same anymore. Maybe their goals and aspirations in life don't meet the common good of the union. A lot could have happened, and we're not going to know till we get the details.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even need the details. It's only one marriage I care about.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like people is going as far as scrolling through her Instagram looking for stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then y'all getting at him in the chat, like, nah, y'all don't
even
belong
know
in
what's
this.
going on. Like you said, Moochie, it could be like, not that big of a deal.
They
type
also,
you don't necessarily have to hate each other.
I just remembered they actually, was it yesterday or today? Low key, they were posting subliminal messages. Yeah, I completely forgot. I
know he said something about acting off anger and emotion or something.
Yes, and then that's after she put her post about basically like walking away is hard, but whatever, something like that.
That's corny too.
But then it's just the timing. It seemed like it was subliminal messages.
It definitely was. I don't like that sub stuff.
They were everything on social
media. Well, let me ask you this, Monique. Do you think that he was blindsided?
I think he knew, but I think he probably did not agree. Like, it seems like it was her decision because she filed. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not like they both filed. She filed. So he knew, but it looks like she's the one that was like, we should get a divorce.
Right. Something had been going on. You don't come to the decision of a divorce usually in less time than a year. Like you discussing that. There are some things that they just couldn't get resolved. And when you get to the point where you're looking at your spouse or your partner in your own home, your comfort zone, and you're looking at them like, why the hell are you here? That's usually when people's like, it's time to get a divorce. And her sister went on somebody's show today and said that, they just want some peace. She's trying to adapt to, she's going to have to be on her own now. And so we're going to hear more about the story, but I'm like Brillo. I ain't putting all my business on no social media. I'm old school. Like we not doing that. Like, I mean, for now, you guys never know when me and Crystal's upset with each other. No.
To me, that's
Yeah.
like when
That's
you let the
mature.
world in your problems, that's when it get 2 times worse.
That's when it
Mhm.
get worse. It gets 10
Right.
times worse, like she said. Like just
I'm
Right.
not about to sub tweet. Like, man,
No.
Yeah,
No.
putting
I
stuff
just
on
gotta,
social
I just
media.
gotta throw
No.
my hands up.
Yeah. No.
What's
But I
wrong?
do understand why the twins are doing it because they've got over 40 years of fans, and the fact that the divorce information is out there, maybe they want to get in front of it and control the narrative, or help us get through this rocky time. I don't think what her sister said today is anything wrong. Now, the
But I
going
feel like
back
the
and forth,
interview was out of line though.
I agree with that. I agree with
She
that.
was out of
I
Why
agree
are
line.
with that.
people this way? Like, it's
no,
disgusting.
but that's media. It's something
She was out of
major
line.
happened.
If that was somebody asking about my sister, nah, watch your mouth. You don't even mention her. No,
That's her.
Yeah.
That's what I would have said.
I came here to talk to you about my book. I
Oh
didn't come
no,
to talk about my sister's problems.
I know what you're
nah,
saying, but that's
She was out of line.
how
but
media
She was
is.
out of line.
They're siblings, they're public figures, they're
right,
celebrities.
exactly.
She
A
handled it
major,
good.
a major news, broke the day before. It would
Right.
be like
Gucci.
if they didn't ask you, it would be like, are you? It would just be
Dereliction of duty. It'd
Look,
be a
I would have been
complete.
like this. You know how
Yeah.
people be like this in interviews? Look.
They got a job to do. You right? You
I
right?
know what
But they
you're
gonna
saying. Like in real life, regular
I would
shit,
have
like
left.
somebody up the street, that's different. But in this
Right.
world, that's like normal. Like it would be crazy to not ask because it just
Right.
happened the day before. So
And just like people
feel
go
like I
digging for
respect
it.
people's privacy.
Right.
but
And
you're thinking from a what's the
Private
word?
citizen. She's thinking as a private citizen
I'm
way
thinking
of
as
thinking.
I'm thinking
You're
as
not-
a person. It's embarrassment. People don't
Mhm.
like to fail at marriage.
Of course.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I feel
That's
like I feel like that she was out of line. And you
But
asking how did half of your heart feel?
But Moochie, I agree with you on that. But two things can be true and two things can be wrong at the same time.
No, I agree.
Everything you just mentioned about the fracturing and the embarrassment, media makes money off that. When they booked the sister today and that news broke yesterday, don't you know that organization Weenies was hard as a rock? Oh boy, they little wee wees was hard as a rock because they know that they're gonna ask the sister, and I wouldn't be surprised if they warned her prior to the interview. We're gonna have to ask you something about your sister.
Yeah, but why didn't they? To me,
they gonna ask
You know,
that, Rich.
They're gonna.
no,
That's
I know that,
They're
but
gonna
let me
ask.
ask you this: do you think
They
she
don't care
gave her
nothing
sister
about
a
their
heads up?
privacy.
Like, yo, I got this interview tomorrow, and you done
Of
spring this today.
course, they talked about it. Because when they do those interviews, they're supposed to 9 times out of 10, their team they get briefed with the questions that are going to be asked, so
Exactly.
they know when they go on the Wendy Williams show. Well, Wendy Williams is different.
Mhm.
She's trying to go off the script, but you know what I'm saying. When they go on The View and all the talk, and they get
I bet
briefed
you if she was going on Wendy, she would have canceled.
yeah, probably. Now that's
Wendy was like in her right frame of mind.
If she was going to a Wendy Williams show, you're right. She probably would have canceled because Wendy was going to ask the questions. She was going to ask them hard
I'm
questions.
like, dude, if I don't hear, I'm just different. I'm like, if I don't hear that, like, this dude was doing something to her, like physically, or I don't really like it. You know what I'm saying?
The
It's
only
like,
reason why
that's a
people
big deal.
the only reason why people care is because they were one of those like Hollywood couples that have been together forever. They were one of the last few couples that you could really, black love.
Years not that long though.
20 years is a long time, especially now.
Oh,
Nobody's staying together.
OG been married for 60 years.
But that time is gone. That time is long gone. No one's staying married like that. So a couple that's been together for 20 years, that's something you admire and you hope that you can achieve. You want that for yourself.
Oh, they was married. You did say they was together.
Together
20 years.
That's like half
married for 14.
They're in their 40s, so that's half their life. You know what I'm saying?
But it seems like they don't hate each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
it's like it's no story there. They just not. You know what I'm saying?
It's just something they couldn't overcome.
The story is like if they were just bitter, just going like it was I could see the story then, like, damn, they going at it. They hate each other. They trying to do this, trying to do that. She said this, she said that. they not gonna give us nothing, y'all.
Mm-mm.
They just
But
gonna
see,
split.
It's not right now. I
but
mean,
Brillo, the thing is, the twins was like heroes for so many women because, like I said, so many women can relate to them. Like, and I'm gonna just make it plain for y'all. It's not like these girls they're not ugly. So don't think that what I'm saying they're ugly, but they're not like these blazing beauty supermodels either. They're kind of like your middle. They're very relatable.
Yeah,
Lots
Right.
of
like
women
Paula.
can relate to these women, and they watch them grow up and do all the right things.
We did see their whole lives. I mean, I know why people
Right,
would be
right,
interested,
right.
but like, it'll trust me. This story will be gone in a couple.
It'll be
it's
done.
a shocking couple. It's the same way people were shocked with Megan Good and Devin Frank. I mean, no one saw that coming. No one saw their divorce. Well, well, some people did. If they track social media, some people were saying they hadn't been taking pictures together for a while, but still, there was still a level of shock when they announced they're divorcing because people thought they were going to be together for a long time. You know what I mean? Longer than what they were. So it was shocking.
Are we shocked that not Loretta Devine, but Layla Rashawn is still with her man that was caught kissing Eddie Murphy, ex-wife crossing Paris? Are we shocked that they still together?
Yeah, all these years later, yeah, I'm shocked. And yeah, that's a who she yeah.
That's a strong marriage. That's the sign of I know
she has low self-esteem. That's
no,
what that
I wouldn't say that.
No, she has. Yes, he has cheated on her multiple times.
Right.
That was not the only thing that happened.
But she said she got counseling. She said she's had counseling that has helped revamp her self-esteem and her self-worth. And you don't feel like that's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She said that not too long after. When this happened in 2020? Yeah, after that happened, she said that staying with
like 2018, 2019.
It wasn't during the pandemic.
That happened in 2018.
Yep.
But but I think we covered this on your channel.
We covered it because she had made a statement. She made a statement that she had struggled with self-image and confidence problems, even though people look at her and say you're just the most beautiful person. And at the time, she was going through some kind of it was a cancer or something she was dealing with.
Yeah, she was sick.
So she had put on all this weight or what may have you. But a lot of the people from Waiting to Exhale had rallied around her, and some of them went to counseling with her. And she said that taking him back has nothing to do with the fact that she's insecure about herself. Is that they have a family, people make mistakes, and she wants to try to work it out.
All right, let that man bounce back.
Oh Lord.
So do you think it's over, or do you think it was like just a mad fight when she went there and did that?
Wait, run that back.
What'd you say?
Do you think that it's over, or do you think she it was like something mad, like something that happened when she got mad and decided to do this?
You mean Tia?
Yes.
Oh. No, I think this type of decision after 20 years, stuff had been going bad for a long time. And this is something she probably kept suppressing.
Right, straw broke the camel's proverbial back or something. It was something that happened. They said, well, she said, oh, hell no, we got to get a divorce now.
And we've all, if not divorced, we've all broken up or been dumped by somebody. So we know when there's a breakup, it's not just one thing. And
it's a domino effect with certain things.
It's a domino effect. It's not just one thing. It didn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? So
exactly. And divorces is extremely expensive, especially when you're a celebrity. It is very expensive.
It's a headache. Well, speaking of cheating,
oh Lord,
we're going to talk about some more cheating. First of all, this is a little quick joke. Tuesday must have been Divorce Tuesday because Tia filed for divorce. We found out Tom Brady's wife, Gisele Bundchen, hired some divorce attorneys. And then the singer Miguel and his wife, now for the second time, have actually filed for divorce. So it was like Divorce Tuesday yesterday, which I found really, really interesting. But so next on the docket, we are going to be discussing Nia Long and her fiance, Boston coach Emmy Baduko.
I just don't understand.
So basically, with his misconduct, right, they hired an independent law firm to investigate the misconduct and everything. They found that he used crude language in his dialogue with a
What's
female.
cool?
Well, yeah, right. They're not
What
going
the,
to
what the,
with a
what,
female subordinate. Hold on, prior to the start of their improper workplace. So before their relationship, he used crude language towards her at some point. So with that, plus the relationship played a major factor, plus I guess the position. So him being a superior to her added fuel to the fire as well.
That's what you think it is?
No, I'm reading it. I'm telling you.
No, I'm asking you though.
That plays a part. I think anytime there's someone who's of authority, like, okay, you can take even working at a restaurant. They don't care if two servers, they won't care as much if two servers are dating. But if a manager is dating a server, that does cause some stuff. So I do think
I don't think it's how come they didn't
Monique.
make a big deal about Matt Barnes when he was dating the coach for that other team.
You ain't even got to go that far. You ain't even got to go that far, Monique. Does the article you reading talk that the boss of Ime Udoka is her husband?
Wait, say that again.
You talk about how Ime Udoka had an inappropriate relationship with one of his subordinates.
Correct.
Does that same article tell you that his boss, Ime Udoka's boss, is the husband of the lady?
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Of course, they're not going to tell you that.
Nobody's going to tell you. I read multiple articles because I wrote this article. I had to, I read several things. No one's talking about. They're kind of, I guess, they're sweeping that under the rug. They're trying to.
And he was messing with multiple people in the organization.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that.
But I can't even say he's a cheater because he's a serial cheater.
Oh, he's a serial cheater?
Yeah, it's like it was more than one person.
Oh.
He was like slinging peen and telling
they
people
love
to get
chocolate.
ABs and everything.
They love chocolate. And then the fact that you have a hot black sister, all that do for some of these women is make their panties moist. It makes them want you that much more. And the husband, who is one of the general managers for the Boston Celtics, the way he found out about this relationship was one day she snuck outside the house. He turns on the Ring alarm and hears her talking to Ime, saying all kinds of nasty stuff that she ain't doing to him no more. Okay.
Yeah. Allegedly.
How stupid can you be?
Allegedly. Everything. The views and topics on my channel are all alleged.
Well, look, once you get a Ring doorbell, it becomes public thing.
It's
so
like,
look, don't be surprised they coming out with that show where you might see it.
I want to read this part because I want to get y'all's opinion on this part of the story. So
okay.
Let's see. According to sources, the Boston Celtics won't stand in Udoka's way should he be given the chance to become a coaching candidate elsewhere.
What?
Reportedly, there are teams that have tried to gather an understanding of the full explanation of his suspension in preparation to possibly evaluate him for future coaching employment.
Yes.
So, do you think he will get? Do you think other teams will look past this and hire him because his year suspension is running through June 30th of next year? Yeah. So, with that, do you think some teams are like, man, we don't give a shit about this. Come over here.
They got him suspended for a whole year when he's like pigeonholed.
Right. Go ahead, Brillo.
Oh man. Yeah, of course they're gonna give him another shot. Here's the thing with me, like, he cheated on his girlfriend's baby mama. Until I hear like, okay, I get it. I understand the logistics of it. You can't date somebody that's beneath you or whatever, not beneath you, but you know what I mean, like the analogy you gave with the server and the cook or owner or whatever. You can't date anybody that's not on like that you're over or whatever.
Your subordinate.
I get that you can't date your subordinate. I get that part. But until I hear like that he forced himself on this lady or something or I don't really. He cheated on his girlfriend. That's wrong. He a slime ball for that. Cheated on his baby mama, and his baby mama just happened to be a super fine black queen.
And she
A
just,
legendary
uprooted.
crime. He's wrong. We get it, but dude got a problem. It probably wasn't even the looks or whatever. He's got but definitely somebody will hire him. I think definitely what Lamont said is true. Why are they keeping this such under wraps? Like, it's because it had to be like the boss's wife type thing.
Yeah, that's why.
The laughing stock NBA.
Right. Exactly.
Somebody's going to hire him and say, ha ha ha, we don't care nothing about you. You knocked his wife off. Because the man is good at his job. Yeah, he cheated on his crime ball for messing with the owner's wife too. Certain lines you can't cross, bro.
Right, you shouldn't.
Like, come on, dog.
Like, bro,
that's the boss's wife, bro.
Right.
You clearly like you out of pocket, man. I'm trying to take up for you as a black man. You made a mistake. You was crime ball for sure. We're not gonna forget that. But the boss's wife, come on, man, and you coach your ass off is the problem. He got talent, serious coaching talent.
And the embarrassment, they want to fire him. That's what it's all about. Because like the GM guy, he's upset that his wife and got this dick from a black dude, and he caught her, and she's doing things to him that she's not doing to me no more. And so now he's got to try to embarrass this dude because he's the laughing stock in the organization. And at the end of the day, what Ime did, immorally is wrong. You shouldn't embarrass your family like that. But he didn't break no crimes. And until we make cheating on people a crime, which if we done that, half of the male population would be in jail tomorrow, especially people in the NBA, truck drivers, police officers, firemen, military.
They trying to make it sound worse, talking about lewd comments.
Yeah.
What he said? Like,
he probably said, look, you got to be that cat tonight.
You know what he did? Brillo, you know what he did? You know what he did? He told her, girl, that fat white ass is like it's dripping. Oh, really?
Right.
You talking about mine?
Eat that cat tonight
and,
or something like
and
that.
that was the thirst trap. That was the thirst trap she fell for. And then next thing you know, they But here's the other thing that he messed up with, Brillo. And I know as men, that 15 minutes of it do something to us. I know. Okay, I know. He was sleeping with this girl at the facility too.
Damn.
At the facility.
That's why I said he got an addiction. He
addicted. They was messing around like high school sweethearts. Let's do it on a staircase.
Bruh, Moochie, that's called flea bottom. You hear me? That is called flea bottom. Bruh, take the girl to the Holiday Inn Express, okay? Get it in over there, and then go back to the facilities, man. But and when you start messing around with people in your business, you're asking for trouble because inevitably two people is going to disagree at some point in time. Two human beings are going to have a disagreement. And unless you know this person well, you don't know how them under the pressure of being in a undesirable place with you is going to work out in the end. It all start out good. That thing feel good. You got me hard. I got you wet. I'm diving in. I'm swimming and shit. And this tasting all that. But then when you get mad because I ain't bring you no roses on Valentine's Day or I got the wrong
Lord. All right, y'all. Let's move on. We got 2 more topics to hit before we get out of here. Don't want to keep y'all too long. So that was great. Great conversation. I co-sign everything y'all said, basically.
Get that man a new job. We'll take him in Miami.
Look, he got the Celtics to they was in the playoffs.
Yeah, they was in the playoffs. Yeah,
they was in the NBA
he wasn't a good basketball player. He was kind of like a scrub, but a coach, he on point.
He was a good coach. I mean, he helped the Celtics a lot. He definitely helped a lot.
And obviously, he's a good man. Nia Long said, "I'm gonna forgive my baby and let him keep."
Why are y'all saying that?
When did she? What they saying?
When did she say that?
The word on the street is boo.
2 days ago, it was on one of the shade room, one of them, that she made a statement that they're going to work this thing out as a couple.
They hate when they forgive us.
If they going to work it out, boom, you can't be mad.
I would have seen that. I don't know.
Sometimes you recover that fumble.
It was just last week that she was spotted out without no ring, and he said
Yeah,
no.
probably when the story broke.
When they asked her about reconciling, she laughed, and that laugh, I loved it. She said,
"All right,
that
was emotion.
them together. That was emotion.
That was
like
emotion.
when it first happened.
That was emotion, and
with his girl and another job.
All right, I hear y'all.
She just moved out there with him.
I know that.
Sure
yeah,
is.
Worse.
And one more thing, Monique.
Okay.
The broad that he slept with befriended Nia and was scheduling her travel event.
Yep.
Wow.
I read that
so they were scheduling her out of town. Like, oh, I'm going in this hotel across here, or I'm gonna be on 2 floors up.
Mm-hmm.
So that way
the upper room.
You going down to the bar or something, and meanwhile you up there hitting skins.
Talk about a slam dunk. Mm-hmm. Talk about a slam dunk, Mooch.
If they want to keep it quiet, though, why wouldn't they just fire him?
Huh?
I'm saying, I wonder, like, why wouldn't he just fire him?
Because they want him to resign. Mm-hmm. They want him to resign, and he said he's not resigning because there's a benefits package where if they fire him, he gets all the benefits in his contract. But if he resigns, he don't.
Yeah, so that's why they're going to suspend him for the year.
All right, Lamar. But I mean, when you're reading, I see, sir. Okay.
Yeah. My brother was talking. We were talking about it when it first broke, because I was watching Stephen A. with my brother because he's like a real sports head.
Yeah. That's how my sister is, my older sister. Okay, next topic. So, family of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims slams the streaming service for cruel new series about the serial killer. Says the project has been re-traumatizing them over and over again. Let's see. So Eric Perry, right? He's the cousin of one of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, and he went to Twitter just to express his frustration. He's upset about the show being done. Of course, we know they did not contact the family for this.
I think that was foul.
They're not being compensated in any type of way. And a lot of people they're frustrated with it. And they're being re-traumatized, which I completely understand. He even spoke about the scene where it was actually his cousin. I forget her name, but the scene where the sister is in the courtroom and having a breakdown and screaming and getting his face, that's bothering them as well. You know what I mean? Reenacting it all over again is just triggering for them. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think this should be made? Do you think, of course, Netflix has come out and they said they had no ill intention, you know what I mean? Let's see. The show's production team has defended the project, saying that the goal was never to humanize Dahmer, but instead to show the perspectives of the victims and explain the ways race and sexuality led to the killings, which I do think they did.
They definitely did.
I think when it comes to this, it's going to be touchy, right? It's going to be touchy for the families. And I definitely sympathize, and I can understand. What I will say that I do knock Netflix for is not contacting the families to give them a heads up, because according to this person, they found out when we did. They found out when it was premiering in advertising. So they had no heads up. They weren't contacted, and they're not being compensated in any way for this. So that does bother me. That part does bother me a little bit. What are your thoughts, you guys? We'll start with Moochie.
Oh, I feel like the family should have been contacted and compensated. I feel like they should go and sue Netflix, and they should be compensated, because now they're getting so many streams on this. It's like the number one thing. So yeah. And then our fellow YouTubers, including myself, because I was on a panel with it. Look, it boosted up even more. So between Twitter, TikTok, people doing reenactments, of course it's traumatizing.
I don't want to sound insensitive,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna
but
sound insensitive.
Oh God.
it's
Okay.
like this, man. Until you tell me somebody done, you say, "Oh, girl was mad." Look, and I watched the show. Y'all know the type of content I like.
I
Okay,
watched it too.
the
I watched
first,
most of
you know what I'm
it.
saying? This show, it was emotional. I felt something for the victims. I always knew about Jeffrey, but I didn't know about the people. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing about the racial undertones and things like that. So I think they did an excellent job with that. I agree with Monique. They should have maybe reached out, but Netflix is like a huge company. They're not going to do that. I feel like you being traumatized, like somebody's forcing you to relive this stuff. Okay, you see it. You don't have to watch it. I know that sounds insensitive. I wouldn't watch it. I would have never even known. I'm not gonna see the scene of somebody reenacting me in court through this traumatizing situation. Okay, it's gonna be on
Social
It's on
media.
social
Right.
media. So, I
It's
mean,
all over.
yeah, everything is unavoidable.
I
They
get it.
can't escape
It
it.
is avoidable, Moochie. You don't have to you don't have to log in.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
this is
on
true.
now.
No, I understand what
I
you're
knew it was
saying.
gonna sound insensitive.
I don't
But
agree with that.
I knew. Hey, look, I know it's kind of unavoidable. I get it. I understand. It's fair for them to feel the way they feel. You know what I mean? But as far as watching it, I know you don't want to have to run from it, but it happened,
Mm-hmm.
and they should get some money off of it. I wouldn't mind that at all because, like you said, it's unfair for them to have to run from it and not log on and all of this stuff. But look, I mean, I don't know, man. It's unfair, but life not fair. It wasn't fair that even happened in the first place. It's unfair that he did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's unfair that his parents tried to get a book deal off of it and tried to benefit from it. It's unfair that the cops let him get away with it. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all reliving this trauma. True, but I mean, I didn't know. I never knew nothing about the cops and none of that. Jeffrey Dahmer stuff happened when I was young in the 90s. I just knew he was cutting people up and eating people. That's all I knew. So it was informational for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was emotional. Like I don't really get choked up over television. You feel me? But I was in my feelings. Like, man, I like this dude. The dude that was deaf. I like it.
That's the one that hit me the hardest because that was horrible.
I had to skip that one. I didn't
That
watch
made me cry.
Yeah, man, I like that dude, man. So
Lamont,
I agree with the family. But
For one, I haven't seen it, so I can't attest to all the things that you guys are speaking about in terms of storyline and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I do know: there's legality, and then there's common courtesy, and then there's right and wrong.
True.
Legality. Netflix don't have to contact their ass. Netflix don't got to do. They can get all their records can come from the court. It was a public hearing. Netflix ain't got to tell the family shit, and they ain't obligated to pay them nothing. Not obligated. Now there's a difference between obligation,
courtesy,
and common courtesy. It would have been common courtesy to call them. Now, I'm sure Netflix didn't call them because they didn't want the family to be like, can you not do it? Or what you going to pay us? Because that's exactly what this sounds like they want. They want to be compensated for having to relive trauma. And I can tell you right now, unless they go to a Trump judge, any court they go into trying to say that this is causing undue trauma to the family, they're going to knock that shit down the same way they did with them people saying when Netflix did the story on the Tiger King that it caused them undue trauma. They just knocked that shit down because you don't have to involve them. You don't have to pay them. You don't have to have them do nothing. You don't have to tell them nothing. It's insensitive, yes. But I can see them trying to get a lawyer because for them, at the end of the day, they want to be compensated for what's a worldwide buzz going on right now. And legitimately, Brillo hit it on the head, the same thing that they told the people that tried to sue Netflix for Tiger King. If you're seeing it on your social media, eliminate those things on social media so they don't come into your feed. And I've only seen one Dahmer feed in the last 2 weeks in all my social media, and I review movies and TV shows. So
That's
um,
shocking. That's shocking to me because I
I've
have
only
seen
seen
timeline is flooded. My timeline
I've
is
only seen
flooded.
one,
Nah, I was
and you know
digging
what?
for stuff, so it's gonna come up on mine.
It's
Yeah,
flooded. It's
I've
flooded on my.
only seen one, and it could be because I don't have Netflix anymore, so I don't click on the Netflix. I don't click on Netflix stuff, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting flooded with Netflix type, um, social media. But nah, they're gonna try to sue. They're gonna cause themselves more trauma because the
You
judge is
think they're
gonna
gonna try
not.
to sue? You
Yeah,
think
they're
they're
gonna
gonna
try
try
to
to
sue. It's too much money. Yep, they're gonna
Yeah,
try to sue. They're gonna try
they're
to
gonna
sue.
take a shot at it.
They're gonna
I
take a
didn't
shot
see
because.
that.
The, Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I'm surprised. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think that, but now that you say it, it's just wow. If they
Hmm.
do,
Mental trauma. You're rehashing mental trauma. And they're going to want some of that money, but they're not going to get none because anyone can go use court documents. Think about the show American Greed. That's what they do for a living. They go get court records, talk and interview friends, and they don't pay them.
right.
They ask them, "Do you want to do this interview?" They say yay or nay. And if they say no, then they'll sketch you out and pretend like you the person and make up what they want to say. So nah, I feel for them, but only thing they can do is try to sue, and that ain't gonna go nowhere.
Mhm. For me, it's not like the paying part. Okay, that's kind of reaching, but I just think just the simple reaching out to them, I would have liked that. Like you said, it's not an obligation; it would be a courtesy. But I just think that when you're about to do a story on somebody, I just think it's right to let them know. Like you don't need their permission, but it's just a simple, hey, we're doing this story, da da da. If you want to be involved or if you can attribute in any way with details or something. So um, that's my take on it. I can only imagine that this is re-traumatizing them for sure, because it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. It's all over my newsfeed. It's for 2-3 weeks now. It's the number one on Netflix, like Moochie said. It's everywhere. So if you understand trauma, you understand how they're feeling in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Now, not saying the part about them being mad at Netflix for the money, but just the fact that it is re-traumatizing. I can understand that because that
I
was a
mean, I
traumatic.
understand it too. I understand too because in the kind of America we live in, you have too many people that are glorify Dahmer as some kind of a hero when he's not. And you might, if you're scrolling as that family looking at this, you're
Mhm.
getting more and more enraged. This same thing happened. I don't know if you guys watched the FX series on Killing Versace.
I watched it.
Kind of
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
similar
That was good too.
situation, and some of those families were saying the same thing that these families are saying. You didn't contact me. We having trauma. Blah blah blah. Nothing happened. And that show was good too. A lot of
Mhm.
the stuff that we saw in that, nobody ever knew really and truly happened.
Mm-hmm.
The sister, Versace's sister, she was hot because of who they had play her in the show. So
Who
if
was it?
I thought it
something's
was
public record, there
Who
ain't
was
nothing
it
you can
that
do.
played her? Was it because
what
she
you
looked
call.
like Lady Gaga, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it
No,
was
it was the chick that plays Lady Thor, Natalie Portman. I think it was Natalie Portman.
no.
It wasn't Natalie Portman.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna look it
find
up.
out.
I don't
I'm
think so.
looking now.
Please. Yeah, the People versus OJ Simpson. I like that too.
That was good. And why
That
they
was.
haven't come back? Why they haven't come back with something else? Is that
I don't
that was
know.
a
They
good
did Monica Lewinsky after that.
Oh yeah, they
oh they
did last year. Yeah, I watched some of it. I got to go back and finish it. But yeah. Hmm.
I
What
couldn't
was the
that one
name of
didn't
the show?
Killing Versace.
That one was good, man.
That was good.
It was good. But
That
you
was
know what?
good.
You know what my thing is? I remember all of this because that's these when court TV first started doing trials. That was one of the first one.
Okay.
It was that one. Then they did the lady the teacher that had the students take out her husband.
Hmm.
Then they did OJ. Those was that's when court TV first became popular.
I'm gonna give you guys a recommendation on something that's kind of like real life crime drama that's going on in America that just came out on Peacock. It's a documentary called Shadowland. And
Shadowland.
Shadowland. You got Peacock. Take a look at that. That thing go hard. They go hard.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up. Brillo, you have to head out, or you got?
Yeah. Oh, thanks for having me. Of course, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'll at y'all later.
All right. Take care.
All right, Brillo. Be easy tomorrow, my brother. Be easy tomorrow.
No doubt.
Later, Brillo.
Peace.
Peace.
Y'all, we just have one more quick topic to do. This one won't take long, but I just wanted to cover it because it's a classic. So Ice Cube says that Warner Brothers has rejected his new Friday script. He says that they do not believe in the culture. During a recent interview on Drink Champs, Ice Cube revealed that he has written 2 different scripts for the movie. However, both were rejected by Warner Brothers. Let's see. I'm trying to get it out of Warner Brothers' hands. This is what Ice Cube said. They don't believe in the culture, man. I had 2 scripts. I wrote 1. It was the shit. They was like, yo, we don't want Craig and Day Day in jail because Craig and Day Day went to jail for selling weed before it was legal. This was going to be his idea, his concept. Then after they rejected that one, he says that all these movies came out about jail. Orange is the New Black, Get Hard, a couple others. So then he wrote another script, and the script was really good. The youngsters in the hood were having a beef with the OGs in the hood, and Craig has to come back and squash that because Smokey's son is the new Debo, and he's wilding out. So they didn't like that either. So they effed around and waited until, John Witherspoon passed away, then Debo passed away. So now it's just all effed up. He wrote a letter to them. It's been a whole legal weird thing between Warner Brothers and Ice Cube for a few years now. What are y'all's thoughts? Do y'all want another Friday? They've actually been trying to do this since 2012. So this has been a long time coming. And now that 2 main cast members have passed away, do you think it's worth it? You know what I mean? Do you think Ice Cube could try to take it somewhere else? I don't know. I think they have the rights actually to distribute the film, that's what makes it complicated. That's why he can't actually take it anywhere else. So he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Any thoughts on that?
He just need to write a story. He need to write a different story that is the essence of Friday, but it's not Friday, and go somewhere else.
I agree.
If not, there's nothing else he can do. There's nothing else he can do. Nothing. And I'm learning that when you write scripts, you need to have a scapegoats in your script so that you can, if it's a property that belongs to someone, you can easily take that property and make it for something else, and you won't get copyrighted for it. So you almost got to look at a script as a duality. Okay, it's meant for this, but in the event that I have to pull the escape hatch and jump out with parachute, it can be this story over here. So he needs to do something that has the essence of Friday that's not Friday, and just take it somewhere else. I mean, hell, he got enough money, he could produce his own movie. Shoot.
I was just going. Montana Max said that too. He been out so long, he could produce his own movie. But why can't he go to Tyler Perry or somebody?
But because Tyler Perry don't do nothing for produce his own stuff. And rich people, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Most filthy rich people don't like to spend their money. They like to spend your money. They like to spend taxpayer money. They don't want to spend their money. And so that's probably why he ain't even thought about, okay, I'm gonna just do me another script, and instead of it being Friday, hell, it'll be Tuesday morning, something like that, and then do it somewhere else. But
I agree. Yep. To be doing this since 2012, I mean, that's a long time.
But you got to look at it like this too. You got the guy that plays Zeus, he's gone.
Yep.
I mean, Debo, he's gone.
Yeah.
John Witherspoon's gone.
Daddy's gone.
He's gone.
AJ Johnson gone.
Yup, he's gone.
Felicia gone. Felicia died.
Yup.
You might well you need to just start a new story.
Yeah.
You just need to start a new. Yeah, Felicia died.
She did?
And
I
AJ
thought-
Johnson is not dead, y'all. AJ Johnson is alive.
Nah,
Which AJ
I seen her posting stuff lately.
Yeah, she's not dead.
She was talking about the anniversary of house party.
Yeah.
not
Is
the
it
female AJ Johnson,
You
the
talking about the
male
one that was
AJ.
on? Oh, okay. And the one that was in Moesha, she's passed away.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yvette.
yeah,
There's a lot of people going.
Mm-hmm.
A
Yep.
lot of people are gone.
You got what's his name?
Bernie Mac. Yep.
There's a lot of people going.
Yeah.
You just need to start over. Just
Miss
start over.
Parker. Miss
Instead,
Parker.
like I said, instead of Friday, you can thumb your nose at Warner Brothers and call it Saturday. You know, like I would be petty just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Call it Tuesday.
Yep. Call it Tuesday through Saturday, whatever. Have something going on every day of the week. You know, skip Friday and do Tuesday so they can't say you're using Friday. No, we ain't do Friday. We said Tuesday through Saturday and we skip Friday. You know, that's what he need to do.
Just picking their brain, you know, why do you think they've shut down 2 of his scripts? I mean, he's done an excellent job with the other 3. You know, I think in his letter to them, he said something about discrimination and this, that, and the third, and comparing his project to other projects and the backing of other projects, etc. So, you know, is it a racial thing? Is it a thing of they're not understanding the culture? Or, I mean, is the money? I don't know. Do they just hate the script? I guess, of course, they can only answer that. But just as speculation, what do you guys think would be their reason? Because the first 3 were pretty, you know, successful. Definitely, at least the first 2 for sure were successful. And
you know,
you know, he's a pretty good.
Maybe they don't think it's going to bring in the kind of money with a mostly black crowd that they want to see, and instead of just telling him that that's what they think when they crunch their little numbers, that it ain't going to do that, we just going to deny it and say we don't like the script. I mean, at the end of the day, a script is subjective.
Right.
Two people can read the same script. One person will love it, one person will hate it. Mm-hmm. But when you have someone who's proven themselves, why not run with it? Because like I said, both movies were profitable. They weren't mega profitable, but they were profitable. And maybe right now they got their eyeballs set on some other stuff that to them is going to be more profitable than a Friday, which you're missing out here now. Because there are a lot of Anglos that did like Friday. They might not have told you they did, but there was a lot that did. And that's what pushed it over the edge to being very profitable. So I just think at the end of the day, for whatever the reason, they upset with him. Maybe he's doing too much with the big 3 basketball. They don't want him to get too big for his britches. Maybe they don't want to pay him what he wants to be paid as the writer of the script. It could be anything like that. So we won't know. We just won't know.
You know what I was thinking? It could be because a lot of things have changed with society, such as that whole bullying thing. They're saying they don't want Craig and Day Day in jail. Why? They do so many other jail shows. I'm not understanding that one. I'm not understanding that one. You would have to break that down to me like I'm a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
But I'm not understanding all of that. I'm not understanding all of that. It's just like it seemed like it's some other hidden issues.
Exactly.
That and Montana Max, you probably hit the nail on the head. Cube do be speaking his mind a lot, and Hollywood want to probably silence him.
You never know.
I agree with that. I agree with his opinion.
Cube do be going on that D knowledge sometimes, y'all. He do be getting out there on that D knowledge now. Sometimes I rock with him, sometimes I don't, because sometimes he be out there sounding like Kyrie and Kanye combined in one. But overall, it could easily be the fact that they feel like this N-word getting too much power. He is the owner of the big 3 basketball that keeps getting more and more popular with Fox, a competitor. And there ain't nothing they can do to control his other dealings. So maybe they looking like this N-word. He think he's getting too big for his britches. Nope.
Yeah, we let him give him an opportunity to make more money. He's gonna get that bigger.
Right.
Put up some roadblocks for him.
Right.
So if he done wrote 2 stories, he might as well just take them 2 stories, revamp it, and make next Tuesday or Tuesday after next or something, and just make his own movie and go somewhere else. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, I agree. Well, if they own the rights to the movie, does that include the characters as well?
Yep.
Shit.
Everything in that movie, they
Yep.
own the rights to it. Yep.
So he can't
He
even
would.
do like the Adventures of Craig and Day Day.
Nope.
He can't even do nothing
Nope.
like that.
Nope. Nope.
He got to come up with new characters.
New characters. That's the part that probably stings for him. You know what I mean? Like,
But it
that-
could be good too because, like you said, it's a new era.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
now
new.
he can do something totally different.
Yeah, it's a new era. He could advertise his big three in the movie. Hell, he might need to hire me to write for him. Hell, I can do this. I'm sitting here thinking of like 6 different things he could do in this movie. He could do like a big three, and instead of having Craig and Day Day, you might can have Nene and Sneed or something, and you can have them chronicling their story of what's going on now with social media because social media was not big when the
Yup.
first set of the movies came out. So you
Right.
can tie in you could tie in thirst trapping. Hell, you can bring in Cat Williams as not a pimp, but he can be the uncle that's doing the same thing the pimp was doing. I mean, I can write that story. He need to go and do something else.
the options are endless for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys, that is a wrap on this week's Hot Topics. I want to thank Lamont and Moochie for joining me. We had some good dialogue today, you guys. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate the support. Please make sure you like this video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah.
Peace.